Have you ever read something that felt like it was written directly for you? As if the writer had reached inside your heart and put your emotions into words? That's the power of truth, of honesty, and of healing. We live in a world that never stops, where silence feels uncomfortable and stillness feels wrong. But maybe the real rebellion today isn't running faster. Maybe it's slowing down. Maybe peace isn't something we chase, but something we remember. Today we're exploring how to truly heal, how to stop running from your emotions, face your pain, and rediscover the calm that already exists within you. The world is loud, but your heart is whispering. Every morning, most of us wake up already distracted, checking messages, rushing through breakfast, worrying about what's next. The pace of life convinces us that if we stop moving, we'll fall behind. But the truth is, when you constantly run from silence, you also run from yourself. Most people aren't afraid to feel. They're afraid of what feeling will reveal. So we reach for distractions, a drink, a phone, a conversation, anything that can fill that growing emptiness inside. But distraction isn't peace. It's just postponement. And the more you postpone, the louder the chaos becomes when you finally stop. The first step toward inner peace is not a grand moment of awakening. It's simply deciding to stop running. Why we run from our emotions. Pain has a strange way of shaping us. Childhood struggles, broken homes, rejection, shame, all of it leaves marks that don't fade just because we grow older. When we don't know how to process our emotions, we try to bury them. But buried emotions don't die. They grow roots. They become anxiety, addiction, and the quiet sadness that sits with us, even on good days. The truth is, many people aren't addicted to substances. They're addicted to escape. Escape from feeling unworthy, from guilt, from loneliness, from memories they never learned to face. But no amount of running ever outruns what lives inside you. The only way out is through. The moment you stop running, there comes a point when everything catches up, when the distractions stop working, when the silence becomes unbearable. That moment isn't punishment, it's invitation. It's life saying, you can't keep living like this. Healing begins when you stop saying, I'm fine, and start admitting, I'm not okay. It's not weakness to say that, it's the first real act of strength. Maybe it starts small. You sit on your bed instead of grabbing your phone. You let yourself cry without judgment. You breathe through the tightness in your chest and remind yourself that emotions aren't enemies, they're messages. The sadness you feel might just be your soul saying, please listen to me. Facing your emotions without letting them control you. Feeling doesn't mean drowning. You can face your emotions without being consumed by them. Healing isn't about eliminating pain, it's about understanding it. When you breathe into the feeling, name it, and let it exist without reacting, something shifts. The emotion loses its power over you. You can honor your sadness without letting it define your day. You can feel anger without letting it turn into destruction. You can face fear without letting it dictate your choices. This is what it means to create peace, not to erase the chaos, but to move through it calmly. The subtle art of inner peace. Peace isn't a grand revelation, it's a subtle shift. It's realizing that calmness doesn't mean silence. It means harmony between your mind and heart. It's learning to recognize tension in your body, the clenched jaw, the raised shoulders, and choosing to let it go. It's understanding that you can't control everything outside you, but you can create peace within you. Every time you take a breath instead of reacting, every time you choose patience instead of panic, that's a quiet victory. Over time, those small victories become your new reality. Why distraction is the enemy of healing. We distract ourselves because pain feels unbearable. But what if distraction is actually the reason pain never goes away? Healing requires stillness, a willingness to sit with what you'd rather ignore. It's uncomfortable at first, but every emotion you face loses its grip. When you stop running, the storm finally has room to pass. And here's the truth. Your emotions are not there to destroy you. They are the body's language of truth. Each wave of anxiety, sadness, or anger carries a message. Something inside you needs your attention. When you finally give yourself that attention, the love, the compassion, the honesty you were always looking for in other people, you begin to heal. Learning to embrace change. Life is always changing. Every day, every moment things shift, sometimes softly, sometimes painfully. Suffering begins when we fight against that change. We want things to stay as they are. We resist endings, loss, and uncertainty. But everything in this universe moves forward, from the stars to the cells in our body. Peace comes when we stop clinging and start flowing. The truth is, change isn't the enemy. Resistance is. The moment you learn to work with life instead of against it, you stop suffering and start growing. The relationship between healing and love. You cannot love deeply if you are disconnected from yourself. If you've ever wondered why relationships feel distant or unstable, it's often because one or both people are disconnected from their inner truth. Vulnerability becomes impossible when you're afraid to face yourself. Real love, lasting love, starts with self-awareness. When you learn to love yourself without judgment, you stop seeking validation through others. You stop chasing love and start attracting it naturally. The love you give to yourself becomes the foundation for the love you can give to the world. Creating peace in a chaotic world. Chaos is unavoidable, but peace is a skill, one that can be practiced every day. Start by noticing your body. Are your shoulders tense? Your breath shallow? Relax them. Notice your thoughts. Are they racing toward fear or regret? Gently bring them back to this moment. The more you practice awareness, the less power chaos has over you. Peace doesn't mean the absence of problems. It means the presence of clarity, even in the middle of them. A return to yourself. Healing is not about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before the pain. You don't need to wait for a rock-bottom moment to start changing. You don't need to destroy yourself to rebuild. You just need to stop running. Sit with what hurts. Listen to what your emotions are trying to tell you, and then, gently, begin again. Peace is not a destination. It's a decision you make every single day. Every breath is another chance to return to yourself.